Hi, I'm Holly and this is Archie, and we live in a 2023 Ram Promaster converted camper van. I will never ever go back to a composting toilet again. I was worried that the kitchen was gonna be too small. I see a lot of van lifers out there. I'm not gonna name names, but some of them don't put duvet covers on their duvet. The one here on the left I use for my unmentionables. How could you not have a bathroom? I could never live in a van without a bathroom. In this video, I'm gonna be giving you a full tour of my build. I've been living in it for about a month now, so I would love to share where it's at. And I will also be sharing how much the build costs, so stick around to find out. Starting with the van itself, this is a 2023 Ram Promaster, and this is the 159-inch wheelbase model, which is the mid-size range with a high roof. So with this van, we have two 200-watt solar panels mounted to the roof, which equals a total of 400 watts of solar power, and one max air fan. That's pretty much the main changes we have that's visible from the exterior of the van, but I also wanted to tell you about some of the modifications I made as well. At 5'4", it's actually difficult for me to reach the pedals on the Promaster, so I had an aftermarket lowered seat base installed in the driver's seat of the van. This allows me to reach the pedals more comfortably, and this is what that lowered seat base looks like. Security is also something really important for me, so on every single door I installed Thunderbolt security locks. So you can see here that this is the deadbolt system on all the doors. We also have security film installed on all 4 windows in the passenger and driver's side. This makes it really difficult for thieves to break through and smash through the glass to grab anything that's inside. And they are also tinted. In addition to that, I also added a film to the windshield at the front to reduce the UV rays and the heat coming in from the sun. Coming around to the rear of the vehicle, we installed aftermarket rear view windows on both of the doors. They're tinted a little bit, but they still provide a lot of light in the van when all the doors are shut. Coming into the garage space, we have a fixed bed, which allows for a lot of garage space underneath. The doors open like this, and there's a latch where you can keep them open here on the doors to prevent them from shutting closed. You'll also notice that on the rear doors, there is beautiful fabric detailing on the top there and also here, which I thought was a really beautiful touch. Here in the van, we have 35-gallon freshwater tank. Attached to the freshwater tank, we have an attachment for an outdoor shower, which I keep in this box here, along with the hoses for the freshwater tank and the gray water tank. So this is how I shower in the van. For the freshwater fill-up, we have an external input here where you can connect the hose and fill up the water really easily. Here in the garage space, there is plenty of room for all the outdoor equipment gear. I plan to be getting a bike and a kayak, so that will be sitting in the garage. And I also have in the garage a Blue Eddy portable power station that charges everything in this van. This battery is the Elite 200 model, and it comes with 2600 watts of energy. The battery is charged both by the 400 watts of solar on the roof and also has an alternator charger that charges the battery as I'm driving the van. I have here a magnetic screen installed because the mosquitoes are really bad this summer, so I have to keep these up all the time pretty much. But in the entrance of the side view of the van, we have a beautiful custom-made doggy gate so that Archie can stay safe inside the van. And I love this gate because it's very simple. It's just a latch here, and when you open it, there's a magnetic hold on the bulkhead wall and on the side of the kitchen that keeps the doors open. So let's go inside the van. So we're gonna start off with the bulkhead wall, and I love this bulkhead wall because it not only provides safety in the event of a crash to protect me and Archie in case any objects come flying through the cabin, but it's also amazing for privacy. It blocks out all the light from inside the cabin, so I don't have to block out every window in the front to keep the van looking dark inside. and it's a great place to have a bit of an entry to the van. So I use the bulkhead wall to store jackets, bags, hats, laundry, and because this wall is so strong, it can handle a lot of weight using hooks like this. I also have hooks on the other side of the wall as well. And this is a great place to hang wet towels and bags and other things here. What I love about the Promaster is that it comes with a really big storage area above the bulkhead here as well. And this is where I keep a lot of recreational gear. I have my hiking poles, my yoga mat, other bags. I also keep my foam roller up here. So this storage area up here is huge and it fits a lot of stuff. And right at the front of the van, we have our dining area. This dining table is mounted on a Lagoon table mount, so it's really easy to swivel it around and change it to wherever you want it. I've used it for additional cooking surface and also just to get in and out of the bench area more easily. In the bench, we also have storage, and to access the storage, all you have to do is lift up. And in the storage, I just keep items that I don't need to use on a regular basis. These are supplies and things that rarely need to be accessed, and that goes under the bench here. As the cushion, we have a custom-made 3-inch memory foam bench cushion that is measured perfectly to the size of the bench, and it has a nice durable tweed fabric that is really good at hiding imperfections and just super soft to sit on. So I really love the choice of fabric here. And then under the bench, we have another storage drawer. And I wanted to put a drawer because just having one big storage under the cushion would have been a less efficient use of space. So by having a drawer, I'm able to not only access items I need on a regular basis more easily, but it's just easier to get things out because you don't have a lot of stuff toppled on top of each other. So in this storage drawer, I have a lot of items that I use pretty regularly, like my art supplies. I have things for Archie, I have camera equipment. I also keep travel guides in this drawer in case I want to research what to do in the area. Above the bench area, we have a really large storage cabinet. So this storage cabinet I use to hold, honestly, just miscellaneous stuff. Like there's no rhyme or reason as to what's up here, but I pretty much just use it to hold things that I need to use on a regular basis, and I don't want to put them in the garage or in the bulkhead wall. And next to that, I have another cabinet here, which is the same size. They're both 40 inches wide because the distance on a Promaster from a full-sized bed to the bulkhead wall is 80 inches. So that's a huge amount of storage. So up here, I keep a lot of my clothing, like bigger items like bottoms and warmer weather clothes. Next to the bench, we have this counter height area that has a lot of the drawers as well as the Dometic fridge. So here is the Dometic fridge that I have, and I like to put magnets of national parks that I visit here. And this Dometic fridge has a freezer compartment that's removable and a lot of space, honestly, for 1 to 2 weeks worth of groceries. I also have a countertop little cubby here where I keep items that I don't want to fall over on its side, like things that have droppers and liquids in it. Here are the 4 drawers that I have here, and they are mixed use. On the drawers, we have the RV latches. These are done by a company called RV Labs, and I love them. They are so easy to use. You just pull the latch, and they keep the drawers from flying open when you're driving. The top drawer is my designated junk drawer. So this just has a random collection of little things. So like I have a Swiss Army knife in here. I have screwdriver. I have Archie's grooming tools. I have my wallet. I have candy. Beneath that is all of my bathroom stuff. So I have all of my personal hygiene items here, and my makeup, my toothbrush, my brush. So all of that sits here, which is really convenient because the sink is here. So as I'm brushing my teeth and washing my face and everything I need to do that is right next to me. Underneath that drawer is my bowls and cups drawer. So here I keep all the cups and bowls that I use when I eat in the van. The last drawer here actually uses an RV and marine grade latch. These latches are really strong and great for van life, but I didn't like how they looked aesthetically, so I only use these strong latches on the bottom heaviest drawers in my build because those are the ones that will fly out as you're driving. So here in the last bottom one is where I keep my big pan containers, my big water bottle, my pot will go in here as well. And this has done really, really well. The drawer has not swung open once since living in the van. And I use that same latch on the bottom drawer here as well. So now we're gonna talk about the kitchen. The kitchen is facing the passenger sliding door, and the reason why I chose this layout is simply because I want to have a view. By putting the kitchen against the passenger door, I can see everything outside as I'm cooking and cleaning, and also it means that my bench seating is also facing the open sliding door, giving me a beautiful view when I get work done in the van. So I absolutely love this layout. I was worried that the kitchen was gonna be too small, but we got an extendable countertop here. And this increases the size of the counter space significantly. These brackets are stainless steel and they can hold 500 pounds of weight on this counter. So I can sit on this if I want. To close it is very simple. You just press on the latches and it folds away. Here we have the Max Air fan. It was important for me that the Max Air fan prioritize being over the cooking area here so that the fumes can go up into the intake. So now I want to talk about the kitchen setup here. We have a 2-burner propane stove, and the propane is under the sink, which I will show you in a bit. Here, right below the 2-burner stove, I have 2 drawers that I use. The top drawer here is where I keep all my utensils and spices. And then the second drawer here, I keep other kitchen items like my drying mat. I have my coffee pour over, my tea maker, my little pot, my milk pot, my cutting boards. So this drawer here is just nice as a catch-all for any miscellaneous kitchen tools that I need while in the van. Here we have a stainless steel faucet that also has a spray function. So it's really, really easy to wash dishes because this faucet has a high clearance up here and the sink is nice and deep. The faucet also has a little soap pump that I use to wash the dishes. And the sink itself is an under-mounted sink, which was really important for me because I didn't want to have any edges where water can start to collect on the countertops. So this is a white granite composite sink. Let me tell you, it is so much better than a stainless steel sink. The white granite sink just feels more luxury. It's easier to clean. For some reason, the stainless steel sinks just felt really gross to me and they always felt like they were dirty. So I really, really enjoy the white granite sink. Here in the kitchen, I also keep a hand towel, a kitchen towel, and sometimes I hang my bath sponge in here just to dry off in the van because sometimes when you're in humid climates, things don't dry inside of a drawer, so you have to keep them out to air. But I love having this hook here. It's super convenient. I also like to keep my kettle on the counter, and this is also the area of the counter when I do dishes. I put all the dishes on this side of the sink. Now, it was really important for me with the design of the build to make sure that the sink was centered in the kitchen so that I have room on either side of me as I'm washing dishes, because this just gives you a feeling of openness in the van, and it gives you a place to put your dishes away as you're washing them. I've seen builds where the sink was right up against one side of either side of the kitchen counter, and I don't think it's comfortable to wash dishes when you're sitting at the end of a counter space. So I couldn't be happier. It does mean less counter space in the center, but I think that trade-off is definitely worth it. Down below the sink is a really large cupboard that is super important, because in this cupboard you can actually see the water levels for how much water is left in the freshwater tank, and here how much water is in the gray water tank. And what's great about this system is that there are individual controls where I can turn on or off the freshwater pump, and I can also release the gray water from the kitchen. So this means that I don't have to go outside or do anything manual to release that water, which is super, super nice. And here in this cabinet space, I can access my composting garbage can. I have my dustpan and my duster hanging here as well. Under the sink, I keep a fire extinguisher. I have my garbage that I just use paper bags from grocery shopping. This is where the propane tanks are set up to the stove. So I have two 1-pound propane tanks here, and there are specialized little holders for them so they don't go knocking around. I also keep cleaning supplies back here. So there's Swiffer wipes, alcohol wipes, paper towel, dish soap, and garbage bags in the back. And this is my pride and joy in the kitchen. I finally have a pantry shelf. So this is a vertical pantry shelf, and it comes with 3 shelves, but I only have 2 installed here because I find that 2 is enough to hold everything. And here I keep more dry goods like rice, oatmeal. I have my protein powder in here. I also love to keep all my teas up here and things like coconut oil and coffee. Now this pantry drawer can get heavy, so I also put the heavy duty RV latches on the pantry drawer as well. So I know what everyone's thinking. Where's the bathroom? How could you not have a bathroom? I could never live in a van without a bathroom. Well, I don't have a bathroom per se. I don't think anyone can really say it's a room when you're in a van that's this small, but I do have a toilet. The toilet is actually right here by the front of the van, and it comes out using heavy duty latches on the bottom, and you just pull it out. And so this is the separate toilet. I have another video that talks about toilets and why I went with the separate. There's also a nice little storage compartment next to the toilet where I keep all the toilet paper, as well as some vinegar that I use to clean the toilet after I use it. So far, I'm loving the separate toilet. I will never, ever, ever go back to a composting toilet again. So another design decision that I had to make was, how am I gonna get on the fixed bed? The fixed bed is over 35 inches above the ground, and I'm only 5'4", so it is really hard to get up on it without having some way to step onto it. So I came up with this design where right here on the bottom, you can pull out a step, and this step will let you go up into the bed area. And I use it every time, and you can come down as well, super easy. And a nice bonus with this step is that it actually is storage as well. So under the step, I keep Archie's food, treats, and bowl, and all of his stuff goes in here. Above the kitchen, we have a little bookshelf, and this is where I keep my little plant and some of my favorite books to read on the road. We also have an upper cabinet here that's dedicated to kitchen goods. So I keep all my supplements here and any dry goods here. I also want to talk a little bit about the bed height. I was really careful to make sure that I can sit comfortably and not hit my head on the top of the roof. But one thing to note about the Promaster is that it is shorter than the Transits and the Sprinters. So it is not as tall. So what I did was I found a Japanese Shikibuton mattress, and this mattress is only 3 inches high, and it is made out of organic cotton and organic wool, and so that saves me a lot of headroom space. It allows me to have a larger garage and not eat into that space because I want to be able to sit up and not bump my head early in the morning. And so here's the mattress. It is sitting on a breathable coconut base, and this allows the airflow to make sure that there's no mold or moisture building up in the mattress. And the mattress itself is just a very simple cotton and wool mattress. I absolutely love this. And just a note too, I love my blanket. I have here a linen duvet cover, and it came with a sham for the pillow as well. And I see a lot of van lifers out there, I'm not going to name names, but some of them don't put duvet covers on their duvet and they just use the white insert. No. When you live in a van and you also have a dog and that dog is on your bed, having a cover is so critical to keeping the bed clean, and also it's a lot easier to wash a duvet cover than it is to wash the comforter itself. So I love this duvet cover. It makes the van feel so cozy, it's easy to wash, and it keeps me warm at night. So yeah, I just wanted to say that because I watch these van videos and I'm like, this guy is sleeping on the duvet insert, like where's the cover? And I comment on it too, like, bro, get a cover, and they never get the cover. So I just wanted to point that out. I think it is a very underrated upgrade to your bedding system, especially when you are going to bed every night kind of dirty because you're not getting showers every day. And you'll notice that I do not have the storage cabinet extending into the bedroom, and that's because I prefer to lean back on the driver's side of the van. So when I'm reading at night or getting work done, oh, that's a mosquito. So when I'm reading at night or getting work done, it's easy for me to lean back on this side here because normally when you're parking in North America, you're parking on the right side of the road, and the roads are made such that there's generally a slope towards the curb, and you don't want to sleep with your feet above your head. You want your head to always be above your feet. So if the curb is sloping towards the passenger side of the van, it makes sense then that you'd want to probably sleep with your head most of the times on the driver's side of your van. And that also means I don't want to have storage cabinets up here in the event that I want to sit up like this and get work done. It really opens up the bedroom space and makes this another livable space even when I'm not sleeping. At the foot of the bed, however, I don't need this wall to lean up against, so I actually have a recessed wall installed here that gives me 3 extra inches lengthwise to really spread out on this van. What I love about the Promaster is that it's the widest van out of the 3 options compared to the Sprinter and the Transit. A lot of people don't need to buy those expensive flare outs so that they can sleep in the east to west configuration in their van. So it saves a lot of money, and you still have the option of doing a recessed wall to gain even more inches on the van. And so I absolutely love this feature. And I also have storage cabinets on the foot side of the bed as well. So here we have 2 dedicated cabinets. The one here on the left I use for my unmentionables, and then the one here on the right I use for tops, like t-shirts, tank tops, long sleeve shirts. And yeah, they provide so much good storage up in the bed area. So I really, really love all the cabinets up here. I want to also talk about the outlets and their locations in the van. We have an outlet in the kitchen, and the outlet also has USB-C and USB charging as well. I just use it right now to put my kettle, but I also would be using that if I had a blender. I might get a blender. We also have outlets in the bedroom area that have USB and USB-C ports, as well as DC charging here. So if I turn off my inverter, I can still charge my phone and laptop through this component here. And this one also has the cigarette port in case there's anything I want to plug in here that uses a cigarette port. And then lastly, we have the outlets by the living area. This is really useful when I'm getting work done in the van and I want to charge my laptop using a smaller cord. So this one also has the USB-C and the USB charging ports, and yeah, I really love the location of that outlet. And you'll notice as well that there are LED lights along the ceiling, and they are controlled by two main switches in the van. We have this one here by the kitchen, and we have this one here in the bedroom. In addition to the lights on the ceiling, we also have LED strips under the two cabinets, and these are dimmable as well. It's kind of hard to see right now because it's during the day, but so here's the one on this side, and then on the kitchen side, there is one right here as well. Just to talk a little bit about the materials used for the van build, we have beautiful Western cedar that was used to create this slatted ceiling on the top. We have pine tongue and groove walls, which are just simply white and create a really nice subtle design for the walls of the van. The kitchen tops are made with Hevia butcher block, and they're finished with a product called Waterlocks, and I think Waterlocks is a great product. These counters have done really well holding up against water and any stains from food as I'm cooking on them, and they are also a less toxic option than polyurethane, so I'm super happy with the Waterlocks. And then we have the floor of the van, which is actually one of my favorite parts of the van build. It's made with luxury vinyl, and it is just a really beautiful floor. It's super resistant to wear and tear and water as well. And when you walk on it, it's super solid. Like there's no creaking, there's no gaps. It's honestly the perfect floor for a van. There's also a beautiful fabric that hides the metal that would otherwise be exposed in the van, and this creates a really nice luxury feel to the build, and it's a beautiful tweed color that Nate had put in for me, and I just love it so much. And last but not least, I just wanted to share some of the first artwork that I put up in my van. These are watercolor paintings done by a Canadian artist named Sue Coleman, and they are so beautiful. Our work is award-winning. There's a wolf there, and there's an otter there. I hope you enjoyed the tour, and now I'm going to be talking about how much this build cost. Thank you so much for sticking with me so far. In the video where I picked up Stardust for the first time, I got a lot of comments of people asking how much Stardust costs, so I'm going to break down the cost for you right now. So I bought a used 2023 Ram Promaster. It's the 2500 with the 159-inch wheelbase with the high roof. And that was purchased used for $34,839.21 in the state of California. The build cost itself was $36,409.35. That includes the labor costs, all the materials, and all the appliances and fixtures that you see in the van, like down to the gas struts. So that brings the total cost of the van to $71,248.56. The van was built by Wildwood Camper Vans. They're based in South San Francisco, and Nate and his team did a great job executing the vision and design I had for the van, and he actually built out my first van, Snowy, as well, which is why I went with him again. And the build took about 2 months for his team, which I thought was a really reasonable time frame. Yeah, I'm just really happy with the build. I think that this layout, after living in it for just over a month now, is perfect for what I need, and I don't think I could have changed anything to be better at this point. Like, there's always trade-offs when you make certain layout decisions, but definitely having the kitchen facing the passenger door was definitely a good choice. I made a video that talks about that decision and all the pros and cons of putting it on one side or the other, because it is the largest layout decision that you're going to make, aside from also deciding if you're going to have a fixed bed or not. I also really love having the large garage and a fixed bed. I don't have to make my bed every night before I go to bed, and I can now have a bike and a kayak to come with me on all my adventures. So before I end the video, I had a comment asking me why I named my van Stardust. I call her Dusty for short, but I wanted to read you a quote from a book that inspired me to give her that name. So this quote is from the book Losing Eden, written by Lucy Jones, and this book is all about how important it is to preserve nature. This is a quote written by Ruth Hopkins, who's a member of the Sisseton, Dakota, and Lakota Sioux First Nation tribe. And she writes, "We see ourselves as part of the natural world. Everything that moves has a spirit. We are no more important than the wind, sky, grandfather rock, grandmother earth, plants that grow, water that flows, or any of the winged, two-legged, or four-legged beasts. We are all stardust. There's no hierarchy. Everything that powers the universe goes in a circle. This is a sacred loop. We are all relatives." I just really love this, and I named my van Stardust to remind myself how important it is for us to see the natural world as part of us and to treat it with the kindness and respect that we also deserve. And so yeah, I think that line, "we are all stardust," is a wonderful reminder of that, and I hope that this van will really deepen my connection with nature and allow me to explore that further. And yeah, just thank you all so much for staying to the end. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any more questions about the build, please comment them below. I will do my best to answer every single question that comes in to the best of my ability. And yeah, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I am documenting my travels all around the US and Canada. So if you'd like to see what me and Archie get up to, feel free to join our community, and I will see you next time. Bye!